Greetings, everyone. This is Char, and welcome back to JustAskChar Advice Channel. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you have an email to send me for advice, email me at justaskchar@gmail.com. I have a letter here from a young lady, and let's get right on to it. Dear Char, I have a time-sensitive matter that I need your advice on. My father will be discharged from the hospital because his Medicare days are expiring, and the social worker said he would go on Medicaid and be transferred to a rehab facility. It is actually a rehab nursing home, and depending on his ability to function on his own or not, he would be qualified to reside there permanently if there is a bed available, which I am told is no guarantee. My family can no longer care for him as they have before, and I am the most responsible one out of all my siblings, so everything weighs on me. What do I do? None of us can afford to have 24-hour care for him in his home. That's another thing. The house has to be sold, or the house would be used as his income. What should I do? Thank you so much for your letter. I said let's start off with the income part. If he receives a pension and or Social Security check, they will also use that as income, and it will go payable to the facility that he's in. As far as for the house, seek a professional attorney, state attorney, tax attorney, someone that can give you all the details of your options that you have. You may want to meet with your siblings as well, since you do have siblings. It appears that you are certain that he will not be able to live alone, so it's very important that you guys get together, have a conversation about this, and figure out what you guys can do with the options that you receive. Now, it has been known that in every family, or some, I would say, you may have a sibling that will disagree. That can happen. I hope that isn't your case. So just keep that in mind. Also, you will need a power of attorney, since you're taking over your dad's affairs. You can get a notary to sign off for you at the facility. You can speak with the person there, the social worker, and they may have one that comes there to the facility and can help you. And if not, you can just look up one online near the zip code where he would be, and they will travel there and meet you. You can set up an appointment and sign off for power of attorney. Now, you can get the forms at any office supply store, like Staples or Office Max, Office Depot, places like that. And the forms, they come in packs. Some of them are living wills, and also there'll be a financial and medical form as well. So you may just want to get a mixture and have all those things signed, something that you can agree with your family. And I'm thinking, since you're saying that you are the most responsible one, they're probably going to let you do that on your own, because that is some work that's involved. So get those things in place, and that'll be a good start. Now, for me, I have happened to have experience, and I'll share that with you. when my mom had became ill, what happened is I had a lot of people tell me different things. I had more people that was trying to convince me with guilt that I was considering to get outside help from a nursing facility for my mom's needs. People gave me stories about their family would take turns and care for their parents, or I would hear stories where they would cook food for their parents and take it every day. Some have told me that they would go visit their parent every day or even several times a day. Sometimes a sibling may go one time and they would go in the evening. So one go in the morning, one go in the evening. I think one lady even told me that she would spend the night on the weekends. So I heard a lot of different stories. But after everyone, shared with me their experience, I would ask them questions. And when I would ask them questions, they would become very humble and less aggressive about the decision that I was making to place my mother in a facility so she could have 24-hour care. It was just me. I didn't have anyone to turn to someone go in the evening, I go here, and I didn't have that. So that was the decision I had to make. And it all started off with one day, my mom, she left the stove on. So the smoke alarm went off. I happened to be home. I got up and saw she left it on, and the grease was still on. So that's where the smoke came. So that was the first time. The second time, I wasn't home, and I was out with my friends, and I came home, and my mom had a neighbor that was visiting. So when I was putting the key in the door, I heard the laughter inside. But as soon as I stepped inside and spoke to them, all of a sudden it got very quiet after they said hello. And it was very uncomfortable. So I'm looking around like, what's going on? Because something is just not quite right here. So I went to the kitchen, and I probably went to get some water or something. And the smell with bleach and like a burnt odor was just really strong. So I started looking around, sniffing, trying to figure out the source. And my mom, she was 5'2", I'm 5'7". So what she had done was she wiped the wall down, the soot off the wall where she could reach. But I reached further up with my finger, swiped the wall, and my finger was black. So I waited until my neighbor had left, my friend, and I, talked to her about it. And she brushed it off. She's like, oh, it wasn't nothing and whatever. But that was the second time it had happened within 90 days, so I was concerned. So the third thing that occurred was she had a mild stroke. And what I had decided to do was work part-time, since she was eligible to have someone to come in 5 days a week for 4 hours a day. So I figured, I'll balance that. Plus I'm working part-time. I'm going from full-time to part-time. That should be enough time, for care. However, it wasn't enough. I came home from my part-time job and I found my mom on the floor having a seizure. So at that particular time, I had decided, okay, she needs full-time care. And each time, wasn't getting any better. So I'm like, let me get her full-time care. So her recovery time was about 45 to 60 days. And I hadn't said anything to her about not returning home, but I let her, as I visited her and everything and talked with her, I let her, tell me what her plans were. And after a little while, I went on and told her, no, you will not be returning back to the home. You need full-time care. And she accepted this. Now, the only part that she did not accept was when I moved, I didn't keep a lot of her things. She called them collector's items. I viewed them as junk, but that was the only thing she didn't care about. But I did give her some things. I could not keep them all. And I'm going to tell you, that was the best decision that I made. And my mom lived another 13 years, almost 80 years old. So I want you to know that there is no right and there's no wrong decision. Do not allow anyone to guilt you into making a decision that you may not be comfortable with. There is only the best decision. And that best decision is what's best for you and your family. Best wishes to you. I want to thank you all for tuning back in to Just Ask Char Advice channel. I appreciate it. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And email me any of your letters of advice to JustAskChar@gmail.com. Who knows? You may be the next letter that I read. And until the next letter, peace.